What up, what up, what up? I'm AC Cruz. You know who you are. Welcome to my podcast. Today's guest is Karla Christina. Karla with a K, Christina with an H. So now you know. Karla with a K, Christina with an H. Karla Christina. Or Karla Christina. Anyway, she's on the podcast today. When I first heard about Karla, it was through John Espinosa. And John was the guest on the podcast a while back in February, I believe. So he's the one that brought her to my attention. And you hear us talk about John in a minute. But what I did not know is that they had never met each other. And they produced this great CD, this great tune called Que Lo Sepan. It's great. Anyway, so I freaked out when I was like, dude, you have never met Karla, but yet you produced this great material for her. He says, nope, never met her. It's a pretty unique story. You'll find out in a minute, okay? Sit tight. In the meantime, Karla was born in California, raised in Nevada, but now she calls San Antonio home. And you'll find out why. So, let's jump into it. Jackie, I feel an itch coming on. Can you scratch me? Or I can't reach it. Can you? Right there. Oh, yeah.
On the next AC Cruz Podcast.
Hola, hola, Crayola. Aren't you a lovely lady?
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, come on now.
Very excited. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Thank you for joining us. First of all, how are you doing? You had an ant problem, or did you take care of that? Or, what's up with that?
I did. I'm still finding some little random ones around, but I think I got it taken care of.
Been there, done that, and it drives me crazy, man. Mine were those little carpenter ants, you know? And
yes.
Terrible. Anyway, Karla Christina, nice to finally meet you. I heard so much about you.
Thank you. Well, hopefully you've heard good things.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited, like I said, to be on your podcast, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm doing very well, and Texas is treating me very well and has received me with open arms. As you may know, I moved from Reno, Nevada 8 months ago, early January. I arrived in San Antonio.
But you're not from there. You're from Carson City, correct?
I'm from Glendale, California. Actually, that's where I was born. But we moved to Carson City, Nevada when I was about 3 or 4 years old.
Now, let me ask this question real quick. When you say we moved, we is your, correct me if I'm wrong.
My family.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't like to read bios because I want you to tell me about your bio. So I'm just as surprised as the listeners, the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So
I see.
I did go over it though. But your parents are not Tejanos. They are from Venezuela. Is that correct?
No, not from Venezuela. They're not from here. But my mother was Colombian, South America, and my father is from Costa Rica, Central America.
Pardon me, Costa Rica. Wow.
No worries.
Beautiful country out there, man.
Costa Rica's gorgeous.
Yes.
I've never been to Colombia, but I've been to Costa Rica. I plan to retire there someday. At least that's my dream. Right, and I love it. It's beautiful. It's just, if you have not had the chance to go visit.
So what age did you get to Glendale?
I was born in Glendale. And we left California. We left Southern California when I was about 3 years old to Carson City, Nevada. And that's where I grew up.
Any particular reason why you
moved to Reno? Moved? There was a manufacturing company that my mom worked for.
Got it.
And my grandmother that moved from Southern California to Carson City, and they had pretty important positions there, so they followed the company there.
Growing up in Reno, how was that, man? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, like the way that I see that, like growing up in Las Vegas, it's a casino town, isn't it?
Reno is way smaller than Vegas in that aspect. Yes. Yeah, we do have some casinos, but it's nothing like Vegas.
Sure.
I also want to throw out there that Reno is in the northern part of Nevada, and it's a 7 to 8 hour drive from Vegas. So when I tell people I'm from Nevada, they automatically think I'm from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it's kind of far away, and the climate and the weather is very different in Reno. You know, we have mountains, we have the 4 seasons, we have snow, it gets cold. Vegas is hot all the time, pretty much.
I don't mean to talk bad about Reno. My bad.
No. And I miss my family. There's certain things I miss about Nevada, of course, but, I love Texas. I really have found my people. That whole Southern hospitality thing is very true.
So you've been here 8 months now.
8 months.
You are here in San Antonio, correct?
Yes. I moved to San Antonio blindly, may I add. I had never been to Texas. I had never visited San Antonio. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know if I was going to like it. I just came here and wishing for the best.
Are you serious? You had no plan? No, I mean, you didn't know anybody?
No, I mean, I knew I was going to come here and live. I mean, I didn't know anyone. I had a job. Obviously, I had to obtain a job before I moved here and, rent out a house and stuff before I moved here. But I had never visited. I had never been here. I think the smart thing to do is go visit somewhere before, and determine if you're going to like it or not.
Exactly. No doubt, man. It's crazy. Well, listen,
but I knew it was the capital of Tejano music, and I knew that's where I needed to be. So,
do you like? Obviously, you're doing Tejano. You love Tejano, but are you a fan of other types of music?
Of course. I think I would hope that if you're in the music industry, you're a fan of other genres, that you try to be well-rounded and have an open mind to other genres and other styles of music. I try to listen to everything in both languages and some other languages. I listen to some music in Italian and Portuguese, and I'm open to at least listening to it and trying it.
Time out. Do you speak Italian and Portuguese?
No.
Okay, all right. I know you do.
No.
Sí hablas español, ¿verdad?
Sí, claro que sí.
Okay. Well, listen, I want to know about you, how you started, everything up to right now, okay?
Perfect.
Now, like I said, I perused your bio and I found out at a very young age you were on Sabado Gigante. What the hell?
Yes. So backtracking a little bit, on that particular bio that's on my website. Anyone can go on there, by the way, and read it. But
what is the website?
KarlaChristina.com. And that's Karla with a K, Christina with an H. So I started showing an interest and passion for music at a very young age. I could probably say, 2-3 years old, I was, getting up in front of my family in the living room on a nightly basis. I was driving them nuts. But I remember we had a fireplace that had like a little step, and I imagined that was my stage. And so I had like a little Fisher-Price plastic microphone, and I would tell my family at night, in the evening after dinner, that I was going to do a show for them. It was showtime. I would dim the lights. I would give them flashlights. They all had flashlights in their hands, and I told them to wave it around because I wanted to pretend that I was like on a huge stage with a huge audience. And this is like 3 years old, right? And I mean, I would sing Yuri, I would sing Isabel Pantoja, Lucero, Tatiana before she did all the kiddie songs. I did that on a nightly basis. So like I said, I think I was driving my family insane. So when I turned 11, my mother worked with this gal who her husband organized dances, bailes in the community. And she told my mom told her friend, Carlita, they call me at home. Carlita has been dreaming of being on a stage with lights and special effects her whole life. Do you think there's any chance she could like sing like a song or two? I think she just needs to get this out of her system, and that way she'll leave us alone. So at least that's what my mom thought. And to make a long story short, I ended up performing July 22nd, 1995 at this community event for about 700 to 800 people. We met some incredible people that day, and I all of a sudden had a manager per se. He worked at a radio station, and he started getting me into gigs with, festivals and radio events for the radio that he worked for. And then that same year, like I said, I was 11, I joined my first band. Clearly, the band members were all adults. I was the only child. And we started playing everywhere in Reno, Carson City, Lake Tahoe, all the, neighboring cities. My family would always go with me. We'd play at bars. I was obviously well under 21. So my family would, take me, protect me. I did not see anything or witness anything I shouldn't have seen. And as soon as, I was done singing, we were out of there because I was a minor. And then my grandmother, who's still in Nevada, and I miss her dearly, she recorded a video at home, lied to me, and said it was for my other grandmother in Costa Rica. And she sent it off to Univision Sabado Gigante. And I didn't know anything about it until a few months passed. She picked me up from school one day and she said, hey, guess what? We're going to Sabado Gigante. And I said, what do you mean we're going to Sabado Gigante? What are you talking about? And she said, well, remember that video I recorded of you singing for your Kika, your other grandma? I said, yes. And she said, I sent it off to Univision. I sent it off to Sabado Gigante. They viewed it. They called us. They're sending us our plane tickets and we're leaving, I don't know, like in 2 weeks or something.
Oh, wow.
So we got to go to Miami to the Univision studios. You know, they pay for everything, clearly. And obviously she had to fly with me because I was a minor. My mom would work full time. So my grandmother was always taking me to band practice. She would go with me everywhere. So we went. It was an incredible experience. Clearly it was a dream of mine. You know, when I was, like I said, little, doing those shows in the living room, my dad would pretend to be Don Francisco. And, you know, he would be like, oh, con ustedes, la niña, Carla, or, you know, whatever. So that was definitely one of those things that came true at a young age. And I'm very grateful to my grandmother, obviously. And for the experience.
She's like your biggest cheerleader at this time.
Oh,
right?
She's my number one fan. And she says that. Oh, yeah,
Awesome.
for sure.
Awesome.
She sacrificed so much of her time.
¿Y cómo te fue en Sábado Gigante?
I won.
You won?
I sang. Yes. I sang No Me Queda Más. And I won. They give you a really cool little trophy, and which I still have here in my living room, and $1,000. At the time, that was a lot of money. And I remember purchasing my first wireless microphone because I did not want to deal with cables on the stage anymore. So I purchased my first wireless, and I got to go a second time because whoever won got to go to the semifinals. I didn't win at the semifinals, but it was pretty cool to. But
still, at the age of 11, you
attend 11 or 12, something like that. Yeah,
that's awesome, Karla.
I know, it was so exciting and really, really just a dream come true. Just a dream come true. And it's funny because, you know, I clearly this is my passion and it's something that I've been working towards for a long time.
Obviamente.
And some of my dreams have come true already. Some are yet to come true, and some have been coming true in the last, you know, few years. And I think that's why I always tell people that you can't stop dreaming, because sometimes dreams don't come true when you want them to. They just come true when it's meant to be, when it's the time is right.
Now, when you got back from doing to Sabado Gigante, you grew up as a little kid. Is that when you were touring with that band?
I was with a band. Yes. I mean, obviously I was in a lot of bands, but, you know, we were doing festivals, things of that nature. I recorded an album when I was 14 years old with one of the bands I was with.
Yeah.
And so that was my first recording experience and being in the studio and all that. I also had an opportunity to open up for Diego Verdaguer and Amanda Miguel.
Oh my God.
In Lake Tahoe.
I love those guys. I love those guys.
Super incredible. They were very nice. I remember having to hand my microphone to Amanda Miguel because there were no other mics. So she was going to sing with the mic that I was using.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
I thought that was so cool. So very exciting. Very exciting.
Tell me about those dreams that have come true for you already.
So the last the last 3 years in Nevada, we pre-COVID, we had the opportunity to the cover band that I was in, and I had the opportunity to open up for George Lopez, the comedian.
Cool.
And thanks to that opportunity, we've had the chance to perform on incredible stages, venues that we could only dream of performing at, with large audiences, which again is something that I always envisioned as a kid, you know, just wanting to perform for thousands and thousands of people. So I want to say it was October of 2018, we met George Lopez in Reno. He loved our performance. We got to hang out with him. Amazing guy. We had a lot of tequila and lots to drink with him for about 4 hours after the show, and told us some pretty cool stories. And he invited us that same night to perform at the Microsoft Theater, formerly known as the Nokia Theater in Los Angeles, next to the Staples Center.
Yeah.
And that was like a month after the show we were, doing for him in Reno. And that was the night we met him.
By that time, you were sobered up, right?
No. That's the thing. That's the key. So we were thinking, we were tipsy. He was tipsy. We're thinking, we've all just had too much booze. Like, this isn't going to happen. But it did. It happened. His manager contacted us, and we were at the Microsoft Theater performing to a sold out show of 7,200 people. Wow. We got to meet some incredible artists, including Eddie Van Halen was there. He was really good friends with George.
Yeah. And
he saw our performance, and it was a dream to be at a venue where, in the halls they have pictures and framed pictures of artists that have been there, like John Mayer and Lady Gaga, and just people that clearly I look up to. And so from then on, his team, his manager, kept reaching out to us. And so we did probably a total of like 12, 13 shows pre-COVID with George in the Northern California area. If they had any shows in like San Francisco, Stockton, things like that, they would contact us and we would do that. So, and then the funny story is that as soon as I get to Texas, so literally the day I get here, I pull up into my driveway, I have his team reaching out to me, and they're like, hey, we have a few shows in Texas. Are you available? And I said, guys, I literally just pulled into my driveway. I don't know anyone. I don't have a band. I don't know. Let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can pull something together. And I reached out to Miguel Hernandez, who's now an incredible friend. And he called up his buddy Memo Rincon. And I think not even a month later, we were playing in Midland with opening up for George Lopez as Karla Christina now.
Wow.
And we also performed later, I think the following month, in Corpus Christi at the Selena Auditorium. So just very, very grateful for those dreams come true. For
sure. That's awesome. I freaked out because I talked to a friend of yours. Obviously, you know him, your friend. Why are you laughing? Hold on.
I don't know.
I'm talking about Jonathan Espinosa, your producer, man. But hold on.
My producer.
Yes. I said, wait a minute. You guys have never met? He says, no, we just do FaceTime or whatever. I said,
text or whatever.
Yeah. How did you manage to produce this? ¿Cómo se llama la canción? Que sepan.
Que lo sepan.
Que lo sepan.
Que lo sepan.
I said, dude, to this day you haven't met her? He said, no. That's crazy. And you have never met your producer.
Nope. Isn't that crazy? And really, that's how I ended up in Tejano, which is a crazy, crazy story. Jonathan works, with his team of musicians and other producers. One of them being Aaron Holler. And Aaron Holler posted a story on his Instagram one day. I'll never forget. It was April 16th. It was a Friday. And my best friend, who's also my drummer, saw the story and called me up in the morning as I was driving to work, like 7 a.m. And he said, hey, you need to check out Aaron Holler's Instagram story. He just posted like an instrumental track of a Tejano song. And he said on there, are there any females interested in recording this song? Something along those lines. So I get to work. I park my car. I go onto Aaron Holler's Instagram and I see the story. And I heard the instrumental of Que Lo Sepan. And I fell in love with it. I loved the way it sounded. I immediately messaged Aaron and I said, hey, I'm a singer. I'm a vocalist. I would like to sing on this track. So he replied, said, I'm going to send this out to the writer and producer of the song. His name's Jonathan. He's my buddy. And if he likes it, well, then he'll be in touch with you. So I go into work, I'm working, and a couple hours later, I get a message from Jonathan on Instagram saying that he had seen some of my singing videos on there that I recorded during quarantine, of course. And he said, let's chat later, blah, blah, blah. He introduced himself a little bit. And that same night, he emailed me the instrumental of Que Lo Sepan, the lyrics, the vocal guide. I recorded it that same night, sent it over to him. And the next day, he said he was waiting for a few things, but that more than likely I would be recording the vocals. So he explained that it was a project that he was working on titled the Espinosa Experience, and that basically he was creating an album giving the opportunity and the platform to up and coming artists. And, it was an opportunity for someone like me to record a song, produced and, played by the best musicians. And I really didn't have to come up with any money. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Which is clearly expensive for anybody else. But, basically Jonathan's taking care of everything. And it's an opportunity for these artists to be on his album. So to make a long story short, 2 weeks later, I'm recording the song in a studio there in Reno. And, it got released in May of 2021.
And it did very well for you guys.
It did very well. It did very well. And that's when I started thinking of, I got to move to Texas. Then obviously Jonathan and I spoke of, an album together. So he wrote and produced an album titled Soñadora. And that was another thing. That was another dream of mine. I have to be in Texas. I have to be in San Antonio when this album drops. And the album dropped January 14th, and I was here like January 3rd or 4th or something like that. So really, I ended up in Tejano by accident. And it's crazy to me how somebody that's been dreaming of singing and, looking for the right opportunity for 27 years, her friend sees the story. I reach out. I tell people it's not an opportunity that I was looking for. And I think it's meant to be because, sure. I mean, that's crazy. I think that's super crazy.
I don't think you should, what's the word I'm looking for? Question it. Just go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And clearly I'm forever grateful to Jonathan because, I'm sure that Aaron received more messages from other female artists. I don't know, but Jonathan believed in me. He believed in my voice. And he gave me that opportunity to record Que Lo Sepan. And it just kind of blew up. So here I am.
There you go. Jonathan has been on the podcast before.
Yes.
And when I first heard him do his version of Monica
Saldivar.
Yes, he did Monica Saldivar. I said, dude, I love your version of that song. Can you go on my podcast?
Yes.
And during that time, that's when he won the
Songwriter of the Year. Yes.
I said, congratulations. Yes. I want the subscribers, the listeners to know that I booked you before you won that award. He said, oh, yeah. And then I booked you a while back, and you just got thrown into the ballots of the Latin Grammys. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the Latin Grammys, that general ballot, right?
Correct. So I found out 2 days ago, yes, that the album is up for the ballot, the official ballot. And basically, it's the first round of voting. So clearly, I don't know if there's hundreds or thousands of people in our same category, but voting members of the Latin Recording Academy have the opportunity to vote. And the top five will be the official nominees. September 20th, they'll announce the official, the nominees, and then the Grammys take place November 17th in Las Vegas.
Awesome. Are you going to be there?
Well, if we end up being nominated, I plan to go.
Right on.
But it really is a difficult process. It's very difficult to end up being in those top five. So we'll see if it happens.
Another dream come true for you. Just being nominated, yes. Just being in the ballot.
Yeah, for sure. That would be incredible. And really to attend would be a dream for me. It's something that my grandma and I always spoke about growing up, and always kind of kidding around, but not, always spoke about going to the Grammys together one day. And someday we're going to be at the Grammys. And so we're, and pretending to hold the Grammy and, and do an acceptance speech. I mean, I've been practicing that for, 20 some years too, but will it happen? I don't know. I don't know.
Can you give us an example? A dry run, if you will?
I just, what everybody says, like, oh, I would like to thank my family, my grandmother. In this case, I think I would always at any acceptance speech mention Jonathan, because I'm forever grateful to him and what he has done for my career.
And of course, Mr. Holler, for sure.
Of course. I mean, they're amazing. They're amazing. And I'm so grateful to them for this opportunity. So just practicing who to say thank you to.
I love it. We're good. I can't wait to see that on TV when you accept it.
Someday. I hope.
Ojalá. The one thing that I found out about Jonathan is that he welcomes constructive criticism. I told him, look, as a program director for 20 some odd years, I think you should have gotten to the hook of the song a lot sooner. The instrumentation that you did is freaking amazing. But he said, you're right. AC, you're right. I'm finding this out later. He said, but thank you so much, man. I'm glad you gave me that kind of criticism. And it's always welcome. I said, yeah, right on, man. Right on. So
of course.
Are you a person that welcomes criticism?
I think we all should. You know what I mean? I think we all should, because I think as artists or musicians or any person that's, in their craft, should accept criticism, constructive criticism, I should say, from people that are familiar with that industry or are also professionals. I think it also depends on who it's coming from, and people that, mean well. And so, yes, of course, I think we're always growing and evolving, and we have to hear the opinions and the criticism of whether it's bad or good from people that know that, have experience in that industry. So yes, of course.
Good. Listen, it's Soñadora, right? La Soñadora?
Soñadora is the title of the album, yes.
So what kind of songs are on that album? Cumbias, rancheras?
Cumbias, rancheras. We have a ballad on there. And we have, Jonathan definitely thinks outside the box. And I think he's known for that. He incorporates, definitely the Tejano style, but, he incorporates some modern sounds and modern elements. So the song titled Soñadores, to me, in my opinion, sounds very like 80s pop style. But I mean, it obviously has the accordion element and has like a Tejano feel to it as well, but it's very modern. But yes, definitely some Tejano cumbias, rancheras, and a ballad is what you can find on the album.
Well, I think that it's fascinating that Jonathan is way over down in Florida. Where is it?
Florida.
In Immokalee. And you are from Nevada as well as California, right? And
correct. I was born in California. Yes.
And yet you guys come together right here with Tejano. That's freaking amazing, I think.
Isn't that a beautiful story? I love it. I
dig it. Looking forward to any new music? Are you working on some stuff right now, or are you just focusing on this album?
Right now, the focus is the album, promoting it, but definitely talking to different people about some new projects that are kind of up in the air right now. Nothing official, but definitely willing to work with and collaborate with some amazing people in this industry, and definitely stay tuned, and I look forward to releasing some new songs, some new music here in the near future.
Now, behind you, well, good. Let's hope so. But behind you, I see there's a drum set, mixer, I believe, as well as
a mixer,
yeah, and then speakers. Is that your music room right there?
It's our music room here. This is kind of where we practice and record if I need to or things like that. But yeah, it's definitely the rehearsal room.
And
we all need one of those in the house
for sure. And then there was a little bitty dog behind you running around. Who is that?
That's my Chavo, my little Chihuahua Chavo. He's my baby. He's a little crazy. For those that have met him, he's a little neurotic, typical Chihuahua. You know, they're definitely like a one-person dog. So he's very possessive of me and very aggressive towards anybody that comes over or comes near me.
I love it.
But I love him. I love him, and he's super sweet.
¿Y se llama Chavo?
Chavo, yeah,
Chavo.
like Chavo del Ocho. He's 5 pounds. He's this tiny little thing, but I think he thinks he's like a Doberman or something.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've told this story before to Stephanie and to Gabriel Zavala. I said, dude, I used to have a Bichon Frise, a little foo-foo poodle, right? A little bitty like poodle, and here I am, this 6-foot Mexican guy, 300 pounds. I was a big boy, and I'm walking around with this little bitty dog, who, by the way, he thinks he was like a Doberman, like you said. His name was Killer.
Very, very appropriate, right?
Well, he thought he was. Anyway, listen, I wish you all the best.
So
I want to thank you for giving us the time, and good luck with the Grammys, the Latin Grammys, obviously.
Yes, thank you very much. We definitely will need that, and thank you once again for having me. It was wonderful to sit here and have this conversation with you and your listeners. Thank you for all that you do for La Onda and for all us artists, and especially us newbie artists. So thank you for your support.
Well, let me put it this way. When La Mafia, when Maz, when Michael Sagado, when Bobby Pulido, there was a time when they were all new. You feel me?
That's true.
And
That's
now,
true, yes.
And here you are, a new artist. Who knows where you might wind up?
Yeah, let's hope it's somewhere good.
Yeah,
No, I'm definitely hoping for the best, and I hope that taking this initiative to move, and go somewhere new with leaving my family behind, pays off.
I did want to tell you that I've got much respect for somebody that can drop what they're doing in their home state. Say, you know what? I'm going to where the action is. And that is San Antonio, Texas. I don't know anybody there. I don't have a job. I have no place to live, but I'm going to follow my dream and do it my way.
Yes. Well, I knew that it was something I had to do, because so many of us, have these dreams and we're compelled to do these things, but we're scared. We don't want to go the extra mile, or we don't want to sacrifice. And sometimes sacrificing what we love most and what we know, what we're comfortable with, is what ends up, making our dreams come true. So I wanted to know that someday I did everything in my hands to try and make my dreams come true. So
awesome.
Yes.
Before I let you go.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Before I let you go, Karla Christina, I've noticed on your arms you have a couple of tattoos.
Yes. I have a few. I think I have 12 or 13 tattoos total. Yes. We all start with one, and then we're like, oh, we need some more.
Yes. They say, it's addicting, right?
It is.
Anyway. Karla, thanks again. Best of luck to you and do you have a band?
I can't say that I have a band that the musicians only play with me.
Got it.
But do I have musicians that are willing to come out and be hired and share the stage with me? Yes, I have some amazing friends that are willing to help me out when I need it. So listen, shout out to them. They know who they are.
Right on. I look forward to seeing you sometime soon. The best of luck to you again. Karla Christina, it's been a pleasure.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, what a well-versed young lady. Karla, thanks again. And Jonathan Espinosa, thanks for giving her a shot. I don't know if I'm supposed to let the cat out of the bag, but John did mention when he was here that he was trying to get together all the people that he worked with, like Karla Christina, to do a set, a showcase, if you will, locally in San Antonio. So if I let the cat out of the bag, I do apologize. If I didn't, well, now you know. Beach AC Ozicon. Thanks again, Karla. Want to thank Jackie Lynn, the voice girl, Romeo, Donation, and most importantly, you, the subscribers, the listeners. If you like the podcast, say friends. And if your friends don't like it, find new friends. So just chill to the next episode of the AC Cruz Podcast. Much love, be safe, God bless.